Thank you for this opportunity to speak to the Japanese readers of Business Data Science. I'm super excited that it's being published in Japan, and I'm really honored that the publishers wanted me to say a few things and answer a few questions. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go through the questions that I got over email and try to give my best answers. The first one, what prompted me to write the book? And I talk about this a little bit in the foreword, and it remains true, which is I wanted to write the book because I saw an opportunity for non-specialists, people who are not trained in statistics or data science, to become data scientists and be very effective as data scientists. And in particular, I think it's super important to move beyond data scientists just predicting things to answering questions about why things happen and actually getting involved in using data to inform strategic decision making in a business. And for that to happen, you need people to come from a variety of different backgrounds as engineers, backgrounds as business decision makers, and so that they understand not just the statistics underneath, but also why and how things happen and what actually matters. And so that remains why I wrote the book, which is to try and bring data science to more people and allow more people to use data science as a tool in their work life. The second question is asking, what has changed since I wrote the book? And do I have any topics or agendas that I would like to develop given what's changed since I wrote the book? I wrote the book a couple of years ago. It was published last year. And to be fair, a lot of things have changed since. I've left my job in academia, and I now work in industry at Amazon, and before that at Microsoft. And so I've seen a lot. I've learned a lot myself about building systems at scale and data science in an industrial environment. So that's been a big aspect of my learning since. And in particular, what I've had to learn how to do and what I've gained experience on is turning data science, reinforcement learning, and machine learning into products and large-scale systems. And this experience has reinforced many of the principles that I talk about in the text already. And especially when you read the final chapter on artificial intelligence in the text, a lot of how I approach my problems of using data science at scale and machine learning at scale are framed out in that last chapter of the book. But I've learned a ton more, and I think my next book or my next writing project is really going to be focused on leaders of technology organizations and try to talk more about not just how to do the data science as an independent contributor, but how to lead teams that need data science as part of their products and how to introduce machine learning into your technology stack. The next question is about business in Japan, and in particular, it gets into what sort of backgrounds do we think are most appropriate for people to learn data science? Do you think it's ideal for students to master business data science at an MBA level, or are there any other possibilities? Like, for example, is it possible to make a program where students can study business in an elementary computer science class? It's a good question, and the answer to the question is absolutely. There are many, many different options and ways that you can come to data science. And when I wrote the book originally, I was teaching MBAs, and so pretty focused on how MBAs can learn data science. I've since been working more in industry with engineers and leading engineering teams, and I'm honestly most energized right now about finding ways to get computer engineers and software development engineers tooled up and able to apply data science, and also tooled up and able to apply principles of economics and marketing and other fields within business. I think that people with a strong engineering background understand what it means to build. And we need builders to push the next generation of automated decision making in business. So again, it's all about thinking and bringing a product mindset and an engineer's builder mindset to making decisions with data, so that you're not just making a decision once by looking at the data, but rather using the data in an automated decision-making framework that runs over and over again without you having to re-engineer it from scratch each time. The next question is about text as data. It's actually Yes, the book is written in English, and all of my text as data examples are in English. The way we approach text as data in the book is actually very simple. We break the text up into tokens, and a token would be a word, for example, and we then use those tokens, the occurrences of words and language, as inputs to regression and to other standardized methodologies. And this approach works just as well in Japanese as it does in English. You can use characters as tokens, you can use concepts as tokens, you can use the equivalent of words as tokens. I haven't done much machine learning or natural language processing myself in non-Latin languages, but I have worked on products where that's been a component, and the regular tools apply. Something that we don't talk a ton about in this book are the deep learning methodologies and LSTM neural networks and tools like that are becoming more of the go-to option for natural language processing. Those tools also apply very well beyond English. They're mostly agnostic to the structure of the language. You just need to give them the training data in that language. So I think, yes, text as data is extremely important. I don't have a ton of personal experience analyzing foreign languages, but I've worked on products where it's been a component and it's worked very well. So I think these principles from the text as data chapter can be applied and adapted to Japanese. The next question is about companies in Japan. Are there any Japanese companies or their businesses that you are especially curious about? That's a question for me. And I would say, yes, I'm actually curious about all and many of the Japanese companies. Japan has an extremely impressive business class and culture of innovation. I don't have any insight into specific Japanese companies, but I would love to learn more about how decision making depends on data currently in some Japanese companies and where the opportunities lie. These might be different opportunities than what I saw when I looked at American and Canadian and European companies, which is what really motivated me when I wrote the book. So maybe now that the book is translated into Japanese, I will hear from readers in Japan and get opportunities to learn about how data can be used and how data is used for decision making in Japanese business class and in business companies. So I'm really excited to hear from readers and learn more about the opportunities for business data science in Japan. And the next question says, please give us a personal message for your Japanese readers. And I would just say that I feel very, very fortunate that the publisher has taken upon themselves to translate my book into Japanese. It's a big honor. I have a huge respect for Japan, and I was very, very excited to learn that my book would be coming out in Japanese. We have family on my mother's side who live in Tokyo, and we visited for almost a month when my daughter was young to stay with family there, and it was one of the most fantastic trips of my life. We just enjoyed it tremendously, and I cannot wait to go back. So I'm very happy to know that my book is making it into the Japanese market, and I look forward to hearing from Japanese readers. Now, the last question here is, finally, I'd like to ask what you can do with business data science in the age of COVID-19. And that's a good question. COVID has changed everything. And it's made my work life completely different. I'm working from home, as you can tell. It's made my business selling, finding ways to get products to customers on Amazon and all of Amazon's websites. It's made it completely different. It just turned everything upside down. And one thing that it's done is it's reinforced to me and made it more important to ever that we need to be making decisions based on data. So what COVID did is it came through and it turned everything upside down. So if you weren't making decisions based on data, if you had some rules of thumbs or normal operating principles, or you just had a hunch as to how your business should run, all of those things went out the window because the world's different now. Your past experience, your past rules of thumb, your past heuristics that you used to run your business, they no longer apply. Everybody's at home, nobody's at work, people are shopping completely differently. Your only way to get out of this and to get past out-of-date business models or out-of-date logistics models or out-of-date marketing models is to look at the data and respond quickly to what's happening now. You need data science, you need data scientists, and you need to be looking fast twitch at what's happening right now in my marketplace. What is the data telling me about the new normal that we're moving to now that COVID is the reality, and work from home is the reality, and social and physical distancing is the reality. So if anything, the whole COVID scenario, which is still evolving and still changing, it's just reinforced for me how important it is that we look to data to make our decisions, and that we have fast, efficient, and scalable methods for looking at data, because we got to figure this out quick. So that's the end of the interview questions that I had. Again, thank you so much to the publisher for, one, publishing the book, and two, giving me the opportunity to answer these questions. I'm very excited. I look forward to hearing from my new Japanese readers. Thank you.